Now that you've put a good handful of hours into your first character, you have the itch. The dreaded alternate character calls to you, or as the medical field calls it, alt-itis. In this video today, I want to walk you through the fastest way to level up your brand new alt now that you can fully bypass the campaign and you start on a horse. We'll open up the video talking about how you can use your main to set your alt up for success, and then I'll dive into what a typical hunting loop looks like to maintain max experience gain. If this is your first time on my channel, the way I do things is by upfronting the knowledge within so you can decide if it's the right video for you. With that being said, the fastest way to level is simply just doing dungeons on repeat. Target the ones with aspects you need and make sure you do Grim Favors en route, but that's really the TLDR of this whole entire video. If that's all you wanted to know, please feel free to shut the video down. I want to get you back and playing the game as fast as possible. If you are heading out, please don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe. Each one of those things does truly help me out in a very, very huge way. Also, I have a massive playlist filled with all my guides and how-tos for Diablo 4 linked in the description, as well as the end of this video if you need help with other subjects. You can quickly navigate to any part of the video that interests you the most using the chapters in both the timeline in the description. Lastly, please don't forget to follow me on Twitch, where I will be streaming Diablo 4 with all the Twitch drops pretty much every day this week at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So need help with a build? Come on by and we'll fix you up. Let's get started here on the fastest way to level your alts in Diablo 4. So jumping onto your main character, let's set up some stuff that you can do beforehand. It's just really quick. And I'm really quick. It's not really that quick. I lied to you. So the first thing that we're going to do here is you really want to knock out all of your renown. Now, you don't need to go the full shebang all the way up to level 5 because really these latter two are not going to help you out on an alt. The big thing you want to do before you actually start your alt, and you don't really need to do this, and let me just make this point clear. Play the game exactly how you want. I say this in a lot of my videos, but if you don't want to go through every single dungeon and you want to do side quests finally, then go do that. Please go do that. So please make sure you're playing your alt exactly how you want, because the best and fastest way to level your alt is exactly what makes you enjoy playing the game. You paid 70 fucking bucks for it, so enjoy it. So back to my point here. For region progress, you want to get the first 3 done ASAP, because the top thing here, yeah, you're going to get that bonus experience on your alt, but the bottom thing here is what's important. It's because this is a count-wide unlock. So potion capacity, while nice, is cool, but we want the 2 skill points because there's 5 regions. Oh, fuck. There's 5 regions, but you want to make sure that you knock out all those skill points. I clearly have some work to do after the video, and this allows you to start with 10 skill points on your alt. That is huge because effectively your level 1 alt is now level 11 as far as your skill allocation goes. So you immediately have the chance, if I'm taking a look at my abilities here, and if I were to look at just the allocation of the first 10 points, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back into this. That's typically how I do things, right? Is 3 points up here, 3 points over here, 2, 3 points into this region, just to bring 2 more points online here. So once you've done that, you're pretty much good to go as far as setting up the character with already unlocks a defensive, a core, and a basic right when you start the game. Outside of that, though, you want to go over here to your oobles, and you don't want to gamble them here. But what my point is, if you really want oobles to be spent on your alt, and you really don't need to do it, to be totally fair, or totally honest with you, you could just skip out on spending oobles on your alt altogether. But if you're going to get them on your main character, because your main character is probably now doing Nightmare. If they're doing Nightmare, they're getting like 50, 60, 75 obles per event or whatever that generates them for you, versus when you're doing it on an alt, it's like 20 or 30. In fact, skip events entirely on an alt because they take up a lot of time and don't really give you a ton of experience. So if you are going to get obles, get them on your alt, on your main, save them for your alt, and then have your alt redeem them for, say, maybe gloves. Gloves are the best thing to do because this allows you to get 40 obles invested that you can then get a ton of offensive aspects that you can rip off of the gloves at the occultist and then put them onto whatever you want for your alt. Now, on that same exact note is your Codex of Power. Now, remember, unlocking these, even if you can't use them on your character, is an account-wide unlock. So if you have an alt you want to play and you have a general idea of what their skill set's going to be or what their build's going to look like, you probably also have an idea of what aspects are going to benefit those the most. So find whatever codex you want. Like, okay, say the aspect of retribution. Well, now we've got to go to the abandoned mineworks in Kehedjistan. So pull up whatever map application you're using. I know if I've said this multiple times, I use Map Genie. And then go to Kehedjistan, find that dungeon, and go ahead and do it wherever the hell it is. I don't really know where it is on the map. But you'll knock it out. You'll get this aspect already primed and ready for your alt. Now, if you did not know this, too, your alt shares all of your resources and all of your gold. So you have the ability to just kind of simply pull from your existing stuff to make any elixirs, and that's going to be a crucial thing I'm about to talk about in a little bit, but ore, skins, monster parts, all of this. So any kind of crafting you're going to do on your alt is already kind of established for you from your main character. So those are the big three things I would make sure to hit before you actually make your alt character. So let's jump on to my alt. So you've booted up your alt. Here's my rogue at level 33. And what I want you to take a look at is pretty much look around the map. Now that you're max level, you have all these Grim Favors unlocked here that you can turn in at the Tree of Whispers. And this is part of the process. You're not going to focus on this solely, because focusing on this solely is actually not worth the reward. In fact, the best way to approach this is kind of like a bit of side quest en route to where you want to go. So let's take a look at this portion of the map. We're right over here at the Bear Tribe Refuge. So I could go right over here to this dungeon and do the dungeon, do it multiple times, be totally fine. But I also have the option to quickly kind of knock out some of these other little things en route to this dungeon. So keep in mind that Grim Favors reset every hour. So if you didn't complete them, they'll be on different parts of the map, not a big deal. But if you do one here that has a dungeon, it's going to get you 5 Grim Favors. And you do maybe this guy right here for 1, that's another, and these take like no time at all to get these out of the way. So those 3, that puts me up at 8, and this guy should be 3. There you go. So if I did all of these en route to this dungeon that I'm heading to anyway, if I were to right click the map over here and got my little cool bloodline, then I am optimizing my time spent, because these are going to give me a little bit of experience in and of themselves. And on top of it, once I complete the dungeon, which will give me a good chunk of experience, I then go to the Tree of Whispers and turn in all of my Grim Favors to get a good wild chunk of experience. So let me fast forward through all this and kind of show you what that looks like and how it can really benefit you. We'll show you what my experience is at right now, and by using the handy thing called algebra, I will show you what it will be like after. So right now we're at 91,000 experience into level 33. When we come back, we'll take a look at where we are when we're at the Tree of Whispers. And just some quick things to say before we get started on that is make sure you are using any kind of elixirs. They're going to give you a 5% experience buff. And if you can, play with a friend, because they're going to give you 10% experience buff. If you don't have a friend, you can always put in an invite to our clan. You can join in, and it's the clan for the channel. So go ahead and do that, and you can find someone to group up with if you so wish. Sparty Party is what you'd have to find. But let's go ahead and show off what this looks like. And again, one final note before we get started here. Make sure you are doing everything on World Tier 1. You should have been doing it with your main character just to kind of progress through 1 to 50 as fast as possible. Do the same thing here with your alt. Then you pop into Nightmare and Torment in the respective times in which you can do that. But make sure you are on World Tier 1. The 20% experience gain is not worth the slowdown of how long it takes you to kill everything on World Tier 2. There we go. We're back at the Tree of Whispers here. We've gone through everything I said we would go through. Kind of showed it to you in a very, very fast fashion. And you can see we are at level 34 now with 117,000 experience. So I think in total it's something like 170 some odd K experience, I think, from the quick math I did. And we started at 91,000 experience into level 33. We pushed all the remaining experience with it was 144 total to level up. So we're basically adding into that just shy of 50k experience more or less to get us into this point. So you see that in total took 15 minutes. It was like 14 minutes and 54 seconds, whatever it was from the full clip that I truncated down. So that's really the best way to go about it. And if you're doing this at a lower level, you're going to get far more experience. It does scale, of course, but you'll level up much faster until you hit about 20-25. You'll go a little bit slower, and then these will probably slow down again once you hit 40-45 until you get that full-on 50. And then you're starting to do your capstone dungeon, you get into Nightmare, and you do all your typical endgame level scenarios to push yourself on. Just two really quick points I want to bring up here is I chose a location that I did not have a waypoint to. And I wanted that to kind of exemplify that you sometimes will not have waypoints. So just feel free to run. It's gonna cost you some time. That's not a big deal. I did it with my friend, so that got me the additional 10% experience, and I had the 5% experience of the elixir. One last point I want to make here is these little symbols right here. Harvest, Forsaken Coast. So these are done throughout the entire zone. You just have to, could you pipe down, Tree of Whispers? You have to get all 100 motes in the harvest, in the Forsaken Coast. And this white bounding line is the Forsaken Coast. So you get all 100 and then turn it in. So you can kind of use that to paint your trajectory for when you're going to knock out these respective Grim Favors. So that you, God, this tree will not shut up. I get it. You're a headless head. Oh my God, see? But either way, you want to kind of use this as kind of a way to kind of paint your trajectory because you have to turn in at this location. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. Hopefully this gave you a really good way to approach leveling all of your alts in the game. If you have any questions or you want to offer up any alternative methods to this, please by all means let it be known in the comment section below. I'm always very down for people to spread any kind of information. Also too, do make sure you do these world bosses when they're up. You have a weekly bonus spoils per character that you can get. It's quite a good amount of experience and quite a good little bit of loot, but don't rely on them to be up at any kind of frequency. Just do keep an eye on them. And you also have Gathering the Legions, which will be up across the map over here as well. So knock those things out. It's just a quick little bit of experience that you can do, while also it takes about 5 minutes and you get some good gear. So keep those things all in mind. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and let me know. I guess there's also a caveat here is the true fastest way to level is have someone rush you, but I'm assuming you want to do this like a normal human being. So again, let me know if you need anything. As always, have a good one and take care.